Bisola, who is a fashion and music PR and consultant, and founder of Safe House. So we wanted to start off today with why and when did you start Safe House London?
So, thanks, Leanne. I started Safe House in 2018, around September times, and I started it because basically there's a number of reasons really. First and foremost, I think inherited a lot of humility from my father, who's a huge inspiration as to his connection with people and how he treats people and how we should always just try and treat people the best we can. And then I'd say my environment and growing up in Hackney, because that's where I'm from and I've lived there all my life. I'm 28 now. And I'd say when I was younger, so when I was about 11, a group of us, say about 16 of us, guys and girls, used to hang out, and we used to go to different parks, different youth centres, and I guess as we outgrew the youth centres and stuff like that, we started to just go to, like I said, different parks and just enjoy the innocence of our childhood, which is what I loved, and it taught me a lot about life experiences and people skills as well. And then it hit a sudden point where a lot of my male friends got super serious overnight. That's what it felt like. It probably was a lot more gradual, but it felt like overnight, and they decided that they've got to make money any way they can. So that whole kind of innocence and friendly, not saying they became aggressive or nothing, but that whole innocence had just literally been wiped out from them. And at that point, you don't really think about why. It wasn't until I got a bit older and you're realising these are guys that are really close to me, are going through certain things, and the reason why they're doing it is not solely the purpose of getting money, is to help their families. And then you come to understand people's home experiences and just relationships with their family and how sad some people's situations were, including mine at times. The struggle is real. And then I guess lastly, my younger brother's 15 years old, and I suppose where it's becoming a lot more highlighted in media, it is a real epidemic now. I just feel like it's just something I had to start. And like I say, the thing I move with is that even if I can help one person, I've done something, you know? And that's why I started.
And where did the name Safe House come from?
So 2 reasons. First reason was I'm a huge fan of Denzel Washington and his films. I believe all of his films have a economical, political, or social underlying message in them. And for some reason, I always kind of capture it. I sit back after I've watched it, I'm like, oh my gosh, he was trying to say this, and this relates down to how we grew up. And I know it's in America, but we can kind of relate here. And then to last week, I was scrolling. I don't use Twitter that much. Actually, not that much. I don't use Twitter anymore. I happened to be scrolling last week, and in 2014, one of my tweets was dinner and Safe House. This is in 2014, September as well. Dinner and Safe House. And then the next tweet was Safe House, even better than the first time we watched it, Denzel Washington. So have a look at that.
Oh my goodness.
And that was in 2000. So it's almost like subconsciously it was already being brewed up. And then the second reason, which obviously I guess is more obvious, is that a safe house is used to protect people from danger and usually protected by the police. And I kind of feel like we as a community can protect one another, and that's what we should be doing. So Safe House.
So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about statistics. So research conducted by the YMCA found that overall spending on youth services in England has fallen by 737 million, 62% since 2010. So 600 youth centres closed, 3,500 youth workers lost their jobs, and 140,000 places for young people went. And also the all-party parliamentary group on knife crime studied budgets for youth services, It said the 4 areas worst hit by youth spending cuts also saw some of the biggest knife crime rises. So they're sort of shocking. That's a lot.
It's a lot of cuts, major cuts. And I also think, obviously, we've now reached almost a whole new decade.
Yeah.
And then people, I think that's a part of the reason why things are getting worse.
Yeah.
When, obviously, I guess with future generations, it's meant to get better.
Yeah.
But then I also believe that I don't think the cut of youth centres, in my opinion, are the soul of helping young people or future generations in general. I believe that there should be, or maybe this is existing or being brewed up, this whole idea of like evolution of youth centres and actually getting with the times, because it's moving a lot more quicker now. And I'm not sure the standard way of like going to a club, or from when I used to going to a club, and how it's more about relationships and all that kind of like fun stuff. I think that now, obviously, people should really still enjoy it. I think that's the one paramount thing. I think is like actually having fun and being a child,
enjoying being a child,
and not getting too serious too quickly.
Yeah.
But I would say that these days, you know, there's people want to work and live out their purpose a lot earlier, or they want to recognise it. And I feel like, why wait until your 20s or 30s or even later? Why not start from a basis? I'm not sure what the modernised youth centre thing could be, or whatever it may be something else. I just feel like we can't keep reverting back to what was in the past. It's more about how do we move forward.
Definitely. Do you remember, I don't know whether they had it in London, Connections?
Yeah.
They completely disappeared.
Exactly, and there was
I remember
no
that.
word. It's just like, 1 minute they were here. Not 1 minute, they were here for a very long time.
They were so
good,
especially helping me with. I didn't even know how to write a CV. You don't get taught that
really
at school.
Things like that, exactly. So almost like a more modernised version of a Connections. Things like that. I feel like, as well as like youth centres. Yeah. But I don't solely think it is youth centres that just need to be put back into communities. I think there's a lot more. Yeah. A lot more. Because when I think about how and the reasons why a lot of people close to me have suffered, it's not just down to a youth club. Yeah.
And what we sort of discussed last night was that Safe House is sort of a place that is, it's kind of like a drop-in centre, I guess, as well, and it's a space where we can like create events and work with youth centres. I think that's what we want.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying we at the moment, like, I've just joined Safe House, haven't I?
We love having you.
Yeah. We met at Note to Self at the start of the year when we did our vision boards. Yeah. And I said I wanted to do more charity work. Yeah. Especially with young people. Mm-hmm. And then we met through Alizé. Yeah,
shout out to Alizé. Connections, yes.
And we started working together from there. So so Safe House started in
September last year.
Yeah.
And you come like 6 months, so really early stages. Yeah. It's been amazing ever since.
Yeah.
You've been a great support.
the reason I wanted to join Safe House, for me, I started with mental health problems when I was like 13 or 14, and I was like diagnosed with depression then. And you said something similar as well. I think there was a statistic that I wrote down. Mental Health First Aid England state that half of mental ill health starts by age 15 and 75% develops by age 18. But both you and me said that we started a little bit earlier than that. So I think for me, I didn't even know what. I know this sounds crazy, but I didn't even know what anxiety was until I moved to London and people were talking about it, because I think I didn't even know it was. I mean, I knew like people said they were anxious stuff, but I didn't know like what it meant.
Yeah. When did you move to London?
2013.
2013. Yeah. Okay.
So
I didn't feel like it was a topic.
No.
Yeah. No.
And then I just started hearing it more, looked into it more, and it just started to make sense. But I'd never had that help when I was younger. You didn't have mental health help at a high school. Well, I didn't.
No, I don't think even the term was recognised as much as it is now. No, actually, I don't think it definitely wasn't, in my opinion, anyway. I don't think there was a label for what people were going through in their heads. It was almost like you were crazy if you were talking to yourself and all these kind of stigmas, I say.
The Mental Health Foundation have stated that there are certain risk factors that make some children and young people more likely to experience problems than other children, which range from having long-term physical illness, having a parent who has had mental health problems with alcohol, or has been in trouble with the law, experiencing the death of someone close to them, having parents who separate or divorce, having been severely bullied or physically or sexually abused, living in poverty or being homeless, experiencing discrimination, perhaps because of their race, sexuality or religion, acting as a carer for a relative, talking on adult responsibilities, having long-standing educational difficulties.
And I think every single thing that you've covered is definitely something that either myself or people in my area have gone through.
A few of those topics there did come up in like Top Boy as well, the new series.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Did you watch it as well? It was great. I loved it. And I think that's the positive side to Top Boy, is that I think that a lot of people locally can relate to a lot of the experiences, and where some people may say, well, this is negative, this is negative, this is negative. This is people are going through it, and this is their daily lives.
And they really showed the backstory of every character.
And just what is going to what has been happening for generations, and also the times that we're living in now, and what we could do. We just there's so much we can do for the future, and that's one person adding a little piece to a pie. Yeah. And I think you're just bound to make positive changes, and I think that's another key thing for Safe House is more about shedding positive, not highlighting all the negative stuff that we hear on a daily basis. It's enough hearing it. It's draining, and I think it's time that we just started to actually act and do things.
Giving back giving back what we never had.
Exactly.
At school.
Exactly. So my experience between, I say primary school I think is where it started for me, that I started to become a bit more conscious about myself and insecure, which I'm sure I feel like a lot of people go through. And then as you go into secondary school, I feel like there's this conditional way of thinking and being, and you have to fit in, when actually I feel like everybody has a purpose on this earth, whether it's small or big. I guess there's no measure, in my opinion, once again. Everybody has something that they're good at, and I think for probably my teen life right through to my 20s, I felt that I wasn't capable of achieving good stuff. And I guess part of it is because I thought, where I'm from, and where contrasted to where I started working, which was around middle class people, and it didn't feel natural for me. I remember my first breakfast meeting, and I felt really uncomfortable to have a meeting and eat and talk at the same time, because it wasn't natural for me. So you start to put yourself in boxes and feel you're not capable of doing things, and then I guess that's how my mental health, or should I say, I started to question who I was. Not realising that I have many great attributes about myself, and those are the ones I should be highlighting those are the ones I should be highlighting, rather than all the stuff that I'm actually just talking myself out of doing, should I say, which is very, very tough. And I think what I feel like Safe House is a part of its ethos is to allow every person to believe that they can achieve whatever it is they want to in this life, because it is possible.
Yeah, definitely.
I believe that nothing is impossible. I think if you're focused and you do what you need to do, and you're around the right people, listen, sky is the limit. Why did I say it? It's not just the limit, it's probably a bit beyond, but that's what I believe.
Definitely. And even us doing those vision boards as well, and putting it down on paper.
Yes, because I've
nearly
got
complete.
And
you don't even realise.
And I think vision boards are so powerful, so I'd encourage everybody to do them. Write things down, vision boards, because it's all part of manifestation. I feel like if you gear yourself and it's all about drive, I think, and discipline. There's all these different kind of tools that you learn along the way, and then you just hold on to the ones that you see that work out for you, I suppose, rather than focus on the negative. it's too much on a negative.
Yeah. So we also wanted to talk about men and them opening up and talking about their emotions. I think that can be a strong factor in young boys and men struggling, because they've always been told they've got to be this strong character.
Yep.
They've got to maybe look after the family if their dad's not there, and
so as I was saying, a lot of the boys that I grew up with are now men. Like I said, a lot of them didn't have their fathers around. Actually, the majority of them didn't have their fathers around. And what I would probably say, which is really strange, is that I felt like it was a privilege for me to have my father around and to be so close to him. So that's why I was super grateful. But then I guess I wasn't as close with my mum. But a lot of my guy friends would confide in my dad. They'd come into my kitchen, they'd sit down, and he's got all the time in the day for anyone that comes in. My kitchen was that space, and I think along my younger years, I used to just watch him as he'd do that, because listening and talking is so important. And for some reason, that's what I noticed, whether it was like guys I was dating or, like I said, my friends, they just wouldn't be able to talk about things, and I would easily be able to like pick up when I knew they were like fronting, is what I'd say, like they'd cover up their actual, and then sometimes I'd be like, look, why are you behaving like that? What's going on? And then I think some of them would break it down for me. Others, I would just know when and when not to say something. And I think a lot of their mothers were suffering from some sort of depression, some serious hardship raising children in an environment that is basically set up to fail, like for you to fail, So, having that responsibility as a guy to feel like you have to not only step up as a young boy to a man, you actually have to take on a father role to support your mum. And if you have siblings, it still carries on. And then that's a lot of pressure to have at such a young age and to carry right through. And, I still can't relate to this day. And, my dad talked about his struggles of when him and my mum came, because they're first generation in the UK. And that's why I almost kind of feel like I have a responsibility to achieve the best I can for them. So my parents are Nigerian, and to come to the UK and to build a life and to have children, there's 4 of us, it's not easy. And I don't think anything in this life is easy, but I think there is a extra added pressure on males. I don't know why, and I guess it must be the whole masculinity that has been conditioned through, I'd say, the creative industry, through life. I think, at home you think about responsibilities, something as basic as, something's broken down, get your dad to fix it, or get your brother to fix it. Why can't I fix it? Why can't I have a go? There's this whole you've got to do this or you've got to do that. It's just a very strange way of feeling that we have to accept that because that's what's presented to us. And I feel like I want to be able to change that in some way. I believe that's what I think we want to do with Safe House. There's amazing things that are going on for women, and I think it's amazing how we have evolved in terms of what we can do in this day. And I think that we shouldn't shadow away from what a man's role in this world as well. And I think it's all equally important. I think we are all equal. People may have other people may have other views, but I believe every single individual is equal, and we should be able to embrace that and not put columns or tallies. A man should do this, a woman should do that. Let's join together and just make things happen.
Definitely. And now we want to talk about the future for Safe House.
I think we will continue to host our amazing projects, and we hope that our network will continue to grow as it is, and it's doing amazing. Obviously, previously we've done a Christmas present drive. We'll be back with that in December
I'm looking
this year.
forward to that.
So that's going to be really amazing. And the whole concept, I think, is just to elevate with each project. So, giving not only young people or people in general, I think I want to even engage with parents, because I think it's really important, I guess, to the stories I mentioned previously. Engage with parents, engage with young people, engage with communities, whether it be a school or, and I don't think it's just, I think there's a lot of people that've got the schools covered, which is amazing. So it's what is figuring out and what other areas that we haven't covered yet, and how we can approach them and see what we can do to help. And then I guess in years to come, we will have a safe space. So Safe House will be registered very, very soon as a charity. So I guess the hope is to continue building, continue helping, growing our team as well, because I think that that's a really important thing for me. I think
shout out to Ravian.
Shout out to Ravian. Yes, love you. Yeah, teamwork is really important. I couldn't do this on my own. Yes, I started with myself, and it was a very big struggle. I think mentally, again, you know, am I doing the right thing? What will people think? But actually, I don't care. Like, you know, my heart's in the right place.
Yeah.
So I say, we're building with Safe House, and I'm happy with the way it's going.
Yeah,
what would you say? What are your hopes for the future of Safe House Ldn?
I just want to tackle sort of mental health within youth a lot. Because it just wasn't there when me and my friends were younger. And I've seen, personally, like a friend that was very close to me end up, you know, really poorly through mental health. And maybe if the help was there further on, these things, they may still happen, but improvements, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And that's something that I really want to tackle, and of course sort of like growing that Facebook for the parents, because they need support as well.
Of course, absolutely.
They need so much support if this is what's happening to one of their children. Like, they don't know what to do with themselves. They don't know what to do with their child. So I think that's something that I really want to focus on as well. Building that.
That will do.
Yeah.
That will do.
Definitely. And collaborating more.
Collaboration is a big one for us.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, there are already some people in the Hackney community that are doing amazing things.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Wicked charity, who we're now starting to build a relationship with. And we want to do plenty more of that. Because once again, I think it's a term that one of our local schools, Dulbany School, it takes a village to make things happen, and I totally agree with that. So completely, like, well, I guess we share that in collaboration is definitely a big part of who we are.
Yeah, definitely.
So I mean, hopefully we'll take over the world with Safe House. And there's loads of people that are actually able to benefit. I think that's what it is for mindsets to be shifted, for future generations to feel like they can look to Safe House and be like, oh my gosh, you know, I don't quite know what that is yet, but it's to know that they can call on it and feel like they can come into a safe space. Yeah. And actually the job to be done, which is that actually you feel like you can do whatever you want in that safe space, but within reason. Take it easy.
Yeah, definitely. And you can follow the work that we do on Instagram, so at safehouse.ldn. You can follow Bis on Instagram at biz_bits. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jan, and thank you to ATIKA as well. Such a beautiful building.